Crowd with a massive heart. We've got one last speaker for you, if we don't blow away in the meantime. He doesn't need any introduction, I don't think. I think you maybe know who he is, but I'm going to give him one anyway. I first worked with Tommy 2007, I think it was. I don't know if you'll remember that. When I introduced him in George Square to a rally that was there at the time. Not an independence one, all the same. It was actually Pride in 2007, and I embarrassed him then. I'll not embarrass him today. He's a wonderful speaker. He's a wonderful man. He's held true to his principles no matter what was thrown at him by this British state. And I'm going to shut up and introduce you to the man, Mr. Tommy Sheridan.
Yay! Good Tommy!
Thanks very much, Cheryl, for that lovely introduction. Can I just say, the young singer, Bridget, absolutely brilliant, Bridget. That was a beautiful, beautiful voice, and I think we can say, without any fear of contradiction, the Yes campaign is all the best singers. There's no... They may have Lulu, but we've got Bridget, and we've got Eddie Reader. We've got the best singers, there's no doubt about that.
Ian Russell as well. Hey, John.
Brothers and sisters, I've been warned by several to be as brief as possible because unlike yourself, I've not been braving the cold all day. You have, and I'm sure you're absolutely chittering. It's a bitter, bitter day. But I would argue that the diehards that we have here today are going to be those small acorns from which the great oak of a new movement in 2015 is going to grow. I would argue that we are presented with an opportunity in a few months' time. An opportunity in the shape of a general election which is probably going to be the most unique, the most historic, certainly in my lifetime. I'm only 50 years of age, but I can never ever remember a general election where the indications are that independence could win that election. We have got a job on our hands, brothers and sisters. We're involved in hope over fear, and we're calling for two big rallies and demonstrations in April. One in Strathclyde Park on April the 4th, and one in Freedom Square in Glasgow on April 25th. And the reason we're calling those rallies and demonstrations is because we believe we have to seize the day. We have to recognise the unique opportunity that faces us in this general election. You see, I'm a socialist. Some people will say, well, Tommy, if you're a socialist, why advocate a vote for the SNP on May the 7th? I'll tell you why. I'm going to give you three reasons. Number one, I believe as a socialist, we have an opportunity on May the 7th to unite Scotland, to unite the Yes community, to unite the Yes movement behind a political party that is most likely to win on May the 7th and put independence back on the political agenda. That's why I think it's important to appeal to all of the Yes community, to appeal to all of the socialist parties, to appeal to the trade union-based parties, to appeal to the Greens in Scotland, to appeal to them to say, you're only going to get a few hundred votes. You might even get 1,000 votes. But imagine you stand in a seat where the red Tories scrape in by 600 votes and you've taken 600 away from the SNP and the possibility of getting rid of one of the red Tories. How bad are you going to feel then in relation to dividing the Yes movement. Wouldn't it be better not to give up your critical facilities, not to say that we support everything the SNP does or says? I'm sure us standing here today that we don't agree with cutting taxes for business. We don't agree with being members of NATO. We know these things are wrong. We can change those things in the future. But what surely we do agree with is if on May the 8th more than 30 of the members of Parliament been sent to Westminster are members of Parliament that believe in independence, then we've got independence back on the agenda, brothers and sisters. That's the prize. That's the prize. Then there's the other reason. Some of us may not agree that the SNP should say before this election that they will prop up a Labour government. I'm sure all of us would agree that they are right to say that they will not prop up a Tory government in any shape or form. Absolutely.
No way, no way, no way. Aye.
But you know what? They've said that there would be conditions to supporting a minority Labour government, and one of those red letter conditions would be the cancellation of Trident. Brothers and sisters, I would appeal, yes, to the Yes movement, but also to the Peace movement. I would say to you, we have a chance on May the 7th, a realistic chance, if we send enough SNP MPs to Parliament, instead of spending £110 billion in weapons of mass destruction, we could spend £110 billion in more schools and hospitals and doctors and nurses and teachers. That's what we want to do here in Scotland. That's what we believe in. That gives us another reason to unite behind the idea of calling for an SNP vote on May the 7th. The third and the final reason I would give you is this. I believe across Scotland, but also across England, Wales and Europe, people are fed up to their back teeth of being asked to pay for an economic crisis that's got nothing to do with them. Pensioners, young people, ordinary workers, being asked to pay with wage reductions, wages that haven't increased in real terms for 7 years, benefits that are lower now in real terms than they've ever been, public services, community centres, elderly services being slashed, being cut to pay for the mistakes of the bankers and the bosses. Austerity means punishing the poor for the mistakes of the rich, and we're fed up with it. Fed up with it. That's why on May the 7th it's vital that we say to the SNP loud and clear, yes, we will lend you our vote, but you must resolutely be an anti-austerity party as well. They must stand against austerity in all its shapes and sizes. We've got the opportunity here in Scotland to join with our Greek brothers and sisters who have elected an anti-austerity party because they're fed up of austerity. We've got the opportunity in May to give hope to our brothers and sisters in Spain and Podemos, another anti-austerity party. We've got the opportunity in May the 7th to become part of the wider anti-austerity movement that's growing throughout Europe. That's another reason, brothers and sisters, to unite behind a vote for SNP on May the 7th. I would argue I would argue with all of those, particularly in the Yes movement. Don't give up your own political beliefs. If you're a Green Party member, if you're a member of a Socialist Party, then stick to your beliefs. Keep building your party, keep building your movement. But on that one day, when we only have one vote, different next year. Next year, you're going to have 2 votes for that parliament in there. Next year, we can afford to say to all of the Rainbow Alliance groups that make up the Yes movement, they can stand and try and get one of those 2 votes. But for this general election, we only have one vote, one chance. Give that vote to the SNP to maximise the Yes voice, to maximise the Yes message, and to get the whole idea of Scotland's freedom back on the political agenda. Thanks very much, brothers and sisters.
Thank you, Tony. Well done. Well done.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I am so proud that so many of you stood by us here today. Tommy Sheridan, all the